See, we kept our promise. We're back. It's next week. Episode 104 of the Odd G's podcast. Jason Bertinas and Harry Mays. What's going on, H?
Oh, I'm freezing my ass off is what's going on.
Yeah, it's blustery out there, huh?
Dude, it sucks. I know you like this weather. Do you really like this?
I don't know that I like it in my current condition, Harry, if we're being honest.
Okay. Well, now, why is that?
I'm a little weak.
Uh-huh.
And by a little weak, I mean a lot weak.
Uh-huh.
And the cold seems to bite harder.
Yeah.
When you don't have your you don't have any jump in your skates.
Well, I guess I haven't had jump in my skates in years because I've hated this weather for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is a sort of a colder January than what we're typically used to. It's kind of, I mean, it's seasonable, but yet it's unseasonable because I think it's about 8 to 10 degrees colder than it normally is.
Yeah, it feels a little more Arctic. And
Yeah.
the wind is brutal.
Yeah, like we're in Winnipeg.
Yeah. Welcome to the Peg.
This is the Peg right here.
Hanging out with the animal, George Bialois.
Jesus.
Getting in bar fights back home.
Oh, God.
Crazy. Yeah, it's been bitey. I went out this morning, had to run to up to the CVS real quick because where else am I going to fucking go?
Right.
And I got out of the car and I'm like, Jesus, it is bitey out. Usually I'm like, take that air in the lungs and feel great about it.
Yeah.
Not so much right now.
Well, this morning I'm laying in bed looking at my phone. It's about 6:30, and I hear this smash, and I go to my wife. I go, "What was that?" And she goes, "It sounded like a recycling bin or a garbage can blowing over." And I'm like, "Oh, geez."
Yeah,
So I
they're
get
all
up,
over the neighborhood, right?
and I look out, and sure enough, it's mine.
Yeah.
And the neighbor's is already down too, but his is always down. It's a disaster over there. So I go out, get my stuff on, and I go out. And here I got beer bottles, wine bottles, everything's all over the freaking driveway. So
There's a vodka bottle in there.
It's unbelievable.
Not a sip left in that thing either, is there, Harry?
Nope.
Oh, there's a plastic bottle of gin.
Yeah.
We don't wonder whose trash this is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jesus.
So
It
that's
looks
how
like
my
you just
day
cleaned out
started.
a wedding reception in your recycle bin. Jesus. Christ.
Yeah, exactly. But I tell you, none of the bottles broke.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Now you're buying
Yeah.
good vodka, Harry. Those bottles you would have bought a bottle of that cheap vodka. That would have either been plastic bottle, so it wouldn't have broke.
Well, that's what I do have is plastic bottles of vodka.
What are you drinking these days, Harry?
Burnett's.
Oh, jeez.
It's like $12.95 a half gallon.
What is that, like Irish vodka?
No, it's I forget where it's made. I think it might be made in the States, but it's plastic bottle.
Plastic
Yeah,
bottle?
plastic bottle. It's great.
You are an absolute beauty. Oh, my goodness.
All these Miller High Life bottles all over the driveway.
Is that the beer you're drinking these days?
Oh yeah,
The High Life, huh? The champagne
High
and beers.
Champagne and beers, exactly.
That's exactly right.
Exactly right.
Wow. Huge night tonight, though, Harry.
It is.
This is like I'm excited. I took a shower before we were going to do the pod. I took what I call the everything shower.
Okay.
The shave, I shaved the head, the whole thing. I needed it bad. Believe me, I needed to get out a power washer.
Right.
Well, I get out of the shower and I go over to my drawer and open it up to grab a shirt. And I never have shirts, first of all, because everybody in the house loves dad's shirts.
Oh yeah.
The old lady's stealing them. So I never have a fucking shirt for me, right?
Now, when you say a shirt, are you talking T-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there's never one for me in there, but everybody else has got them on in the house. My daughter's wearing my son. I'm like, Jesus, you guys got your own clothes. They wear mine.
So what are they running around in the CCM shirts?
Oh yeah, they're all wearing CCM garb, Harry. Absolutely, that and like Pantera shirts.
Great.
Right. So I opened the drawer and the shirt that's on the top, and I just grabbed it and get ready to put it on. And I started to put it on. I said, I can't wear this. It's a green shirt with a big clover leaf on it, and it says Irish. I'm Irish. I wore it for St. Patty's Day, right?
I know, but they're playing Penn
Not
State
today.
tonight. No, you're not.
I've disowned my heritage for the day.
Okay.
Fuck the Irish.
This is like the Delco Super Bowl. I mean,
It
you
is.
either root for Penn State or Notre Dame around here, pretty much, in college football. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, too. Now, James Franklin in these big games sucks, okay? We all know this.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm not breaking any news here. I think he has one win against a big-time team, and that's when he beat Ohio State a few years ago, right?
Whiteout, right?
I think so.
No,
I
it was
think
in Ohio State when they won that game, I think.
I don't remember, but I know he's beaten Ohio State once. He's a 1.5-point underdog as we speak right now. That line went to 2.5 a couple days ago. Now it's back down. Notre Dame favored.
All the sharps are coming in, bringing it back down, Harry.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I have no idea where to go on this game. I don't need to bet this game. I probably won't bet the game unless I see something early that makes me jump in on a live bet.
Yeah.
Like let's say, I don't know, Penn State or
Tyler Warren.
Penn State comes down or goes down 10-0 early, I might jump on Penn State, something like that. But I can just watch this game. I don't need a bet on this game.
Yeah, you don't need any of the added investment to draw interest in for yourself.
Right.
This is
I have enough.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the conference championship now in the NFL to get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I got to say, there's a lot of elements of the college football playoff that have been flawed. In the way they seeded it, and some of the games obviously weren't good. They were blowouts.
Too many teams.
Too many teams. But when you get to this point in it, it's pretty fucking cool.
Oh, yeah, it is.
This is fun tonight.
Yeah,
and look, we're on January, 9th?
January 9th, yeah.
This is a gift.
I know. I mean, the championship game isn't until the 20th.
Yeah, that's crazy. Half the NFL playoff field's gone by that
I know. Yeah.
It really is.
You'll be done with the divisional round by then in the NFL.
Yeah, wild card weekend will be in the rear view and the divisional round.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow,
so
that's crazy.
It is pretty cool. And Penn State, I don't know if it's going to play as an advantage, but they do have a big advantage to me in 2 extra days to rest and prepare.
Yeah.
For Notre Dame, and I guess they didn't know it was going to be Notre Dame until a few days later. But still, you
can
get
watch
to rest.
it looking for your opponent too.
Yeah, because these are all. College players aren't used to playing this many games.
No.
So any kind of extra rest you can get, I think, is a key element here. So Penn State's got an advantage there.
Yeah, because they played that game on a Monday. Notre Dame was supposed to play Tuesday,
but didn't until Wednesday.
Yeah, because it would happen down in New Orleans. So
yeah,
it'll be.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
and by the way, what happened in New Orleans? I've been hearing all these guys on ESPN and I think even the major networks. An act of violence. And it wasn't an act of violence. It was a terrorist attack.
It was a terrorist attack.
There's a big difference.
Yeah. But how about this? A terrorist caused an act of violence by being a fucking terrorist.
Exactly. These pussies.
It
drives me insane.
Yeah, I don't even want to turn the TV on anymore unless it's YouTube and I can pick exactly what I'm going to be exposed to.
Exactly.
Like Pawn Stars or something like that. Not porn stars.
Not porn stars.
Yeah. That's exactly right. I don't know if all the plumbing down there is working right anyway.
Oh, boy.
Let me ask you this, Harry. You mentioned this is like the Super Bowl from heaven for Delco. What happens after the game as one fan base streams into the streets in celebration and the other one is ordering double shots of Jaeger?
Yeah.
How does this play out tonight? And where's Frankfurt and Cottman's like the place when a Philly team goes? Where do they go tonight? Go McDade Boulevard and something like that tonight?
I don't know because you haven't won anything by winning tonight. You just have the right now to win the national championship.
Yeah, but this is the Super Bowl of these two teams. There's a righteous celebration that's going to take place.
Well, if Penn State won it would be a great win for Franklin. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And then he'd have, either way, whoever wins this game, if they're playing Ohio State on the 20th, that's a football game I got to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ohio State's been an absolute wagon in the playoff. They've been a wagon all year, but
yeah, except the Michigan game. I have no idea. I watched that game, and I couldn't believe what was happening.
Yeah, they just completely barfed it up.
That goes. I know we say that in cliches in our business that throw out the record books. When like Army plays Navy or any kind of rivalry, but that proves it. I mean, that Michigan team was nowhere near as talented as the Ohio State team.
Yeah.
Okay, you're playing at Ohio State, and Michigan comes in there and wins the game.
It's crazy.
Couldn't believe it.
It really is unbelievable when you see how good Ohio State is and how inferior Michigan was. But it may be a cliche, but I think it's true in a lot of cases. You do just throw out the record book. Yeah. There's so much history. There's a lot of history between Notre Dame and Penn State, just not recent.
Is. Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
when they were
back in the
independents-
70s, 80s, and early 90s, yeah, they were good matchups.
before Penn State in '93, I think it was, joined the Big Ten.
Big Ten, yeah.
I mean, they played them almost every year.
Mhm.
And, I mean, Pitt was another one of those teams they had a lot of scar tissue with.
Yep.
So, Notre Dame's kind of the last of the independents. So there's a lot of history here. I remember those games in the '80s and with Ishmael and all those guys through the years. Some of the Notre Dame quarterbacks, some great ones that came through there, obviously. So I'm really looking forward to that. I got to give college football credit because they had this bowl system that they've been married to for so long and were so against kind of, I guess, marginalizing, but they had the balls to go in and do this. And yeah, it needs some tweaks and everything.
Yeah.
But other sports leagues need to look at this because college football was getting a little stale because it was the vote and national, it wasn't as compelling as it could be. And as we've seen it now this year, I think other sports leagues need to look at this and go, just because we've done something this way all the way doesn't mean we have to continue doing it this way. We can make it better.
Right.
Like the NBA, take note. Like, look at it. Look at your playoffs. Your playoffs suck.
Yeah.
The first two rounds are a waste of everyone's time. And the 82 games in that league with load management.
Well, I mean, hockey
take a look
too.
at Yeah, you shouldn't be playing 82.
They shouldn't be playing 82.
No, 60,
Yeah.
62 games.
This is
tops.
the first time since 2007 that these two teams have played, Notre Dame
Is
and
that
Penn
right?
State. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm looking
Yeah.
here.
I'd like to see all these sports look at like what college football is like. Baseball has made some pretty progressive changes over the last couple of years. The shot clock or the pitch clock, eliminating the shift, all of those things. And what has it done? It's made the game better. They expanded their playoff field. Their ratings now are through the roof for baseball because they changed it and they freshened it up.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA and the NHL need to take note. Now, the NHL playoffs are great. Like, you don't need less than the round of rounds for the playoffs.
Yeah, they're great.
Because you don't, and whatever you do, don't expand the playoff field. That's just a way to water it down. But I give full credit. Who won that game in 2007, Harry?
Oh, I don't know. I just clicked away. Oh, Penn State 31-10.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Who was on that team?
Penn State 31-10. I'm looking here. I just found something notable moments from the Penn State Notre Dame rivalry. Yeah, 2007, 31-10 Penn State. Let me see if it doesn't name any players. Back in 1992, Notre Dame
Snowball.
beat Penn State 17-16.
Yeah, that was a snowball, wasn't it?
Yes.
I believe that's the
It
snow.
was
yeah.
at Notre Dame,
Yeah.
snowy Notre Dame Stadium. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick Myra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jerome Bettis was in that game for Notre
Rick
Dame.
Myra going to Seattle, of course.
And 1990, Penn State beat them 24-21. Al
national.
Golden scored a touchdown for
Wow.
the Knicks. How about that?
That's State College's own.
Now he's the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame tonight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he scored the touchdown from Tony Sacca. Remember
Yeah.
him as quarterback?
Well, I had classes with his brother, John Sacca, as a matter of fact, Harry, who succeeded him as the quarterback. Yeah, that's my time, brother.
Yeah, 87, Penn State won 21-20. Boy, these games are good.
Yeah. Well, you know what their all-time record is against them?
I
They
do
played
not.
19 times they've played. They're 9-1.
Yeah, how about that?
This couldn't drawn this up any better, I don't think.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun tonight.
Yeah, and then of course tomorrow night, Ohio State, Texas, and that line came down to about 5.5. Now it's back up to 6, where it's been most of the since it was announced. And everybody's looking at Ohio State and what they did to Oregon. They just boat raced them.
Oh,
right?
Oregon got just outclassed.
I think the final was 41-21, but the game wasn't even that close. I mean, it was 34-0 at one point, I believe. So everybody's looking at that. Wow, Ohio State, they're a wagon, like you said. And Texas struggled with Arizona State. They were lucky to win the game. It went to overtime. Why is this only a 6-point line? Ohio State should crush them. Watch out.
Yeah.
Texas's defense is really good.
Yeah, they are.
That could be a good one too.
And that's tomorrow night?
That's tomorrow night.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. This is a gift.
Yeah, this is the Orange Bowl tonight.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, a lot of my fellow alumni are down there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
All
geez,
right.
how often do you get this under James Franklin? Not
I
very
know.
often.
I know.
And where's the national championship going to be played? Is that
Atlanta.
Atlanta? Okay,
Atlanta. Yeah.
yeah,
And I
that's gonna be
think
great.
I think the other two, are they playing in Atlanta too? Is that the Peach Bowl? I gotta check.
I'm
Ohio
not sure.
State and Texas. Or is that the Cotton Bowl?
The Cotton Bowl is in Florida or in
It's in
Texas.
Dallas. That's
Yeah,
in
in Dallas
Dallas.
at the
Well,
Cavernous Stadium.
let me see here. Orange Bowl. Yeah, it's the Cotton Bowl.
Okay,
Tomorrow night
Mars Cotton Bowl, and then the
Yeah.
national championships at Atlanta.
in Atlanta. Yeah.
Awesome.
How
Yeah,
about that?
it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. I can't wait. I don't know how to handle the game because I have a Flyers game tonight.
Oh,
Flyers are
This
have a
Flyers.
7 o'clock tilt tonight, Harry, against the Dallas Stars. Got Jamie Benn, Tyler Sagan, Jason Robertson. Yeah, they're a good
I like
squad.
Robertson.
Yeah, they're good. They're a good team.
Yeah, they are good.
They got that Logan Stankoven here, sensational rook.
Stankhoven.
But I'm doing the game from home. So some
Okay.
of the games because of I'm still pretty weak. I'm doing some of the games from home, some Flyer home games from my home studio. So I'll be right here tonight doing it.
Right.
But I got both games on tonight. What time does the Penn State game start?
Let me see. I think it's probably 7:30, somewhere
See, they
around
need to
there.
start that at 8:30 tonight, Harry.
Hold on a second.
It is 7:30.
It is 7:30. Yeah, on
All right.
ESPN.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
multiple screens going tonight.
Yeah.
For the
So
game.
why don't you tell? Speaking of doing the games from home because of what's going on, give the people an update since last week. What is going on with your situation?
Okay, yeah. So since last week, we have come to a firm treatment plan for what I'm going to go through to knock this shit out. So I had that thing on Monday. I went in. I met with it was Monday. Met in with my my chemo oncologist, Dr. Altman.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is there's options. I could have had surgery first and then had some adjuvant care, which is, some chemo or radiation after,
Mhm.
or you can have, it's called something else adjuvant before, where you can have chemo and radiation before and then have surgery.
Okay.
So what I'm having is the before. I'm having the treatment first.
Well, did you pick that or did they?
That is their recommendation.
Oh, okay.
And it's based on like different elements, where my tumor is, the size of it, and those things. What the treatment will do is it will ultimately shrink the tumor as well, which will make the surgery, I think, a little less invasive,
Okay.
which is good. So he termed I don't know any of these terms. I didn't know them before 2 weeks ago.
Right.
But on my chart, I was reading and it said at the bottom of my treatment plan, it said treatment is entitled to for curative purposes. And I didn't even know what that meant. Treatment's intent is curative. So I had to Google it, and curative means that you'll be cured
Yeah.
and that you'll be cancer free. So and he told me it's a very aggressive treatment plan because I'm young and I'm in, I don't know what he's saying, but relatively good shape. That they do it this way because they don't want it to come back.
Right. Well,
So
yeah, you are in good shape comparatively speaking. You're not obese. You don't smoke. I mean, you're in good shape relatively.
Yeah. For a
too.
52-year-old guy,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
doing all right.
Yeah.
Other than like the hips and the knees, but that's all musculoskeletal.
Right.
So, so what they're going to do is next week, I think on Wednesday, I have to go in and I have to get this port put in my chest,
Right.
so they can access it. It's hooked into some vein or something in my chest, and they'll give me all of my treatments through that,
Right.
and I'll have that in for the entirety of the treatment.
Right.
And the week after, on Tuesdays, I'll be starting chemo. So I'm starting with a chemo regimen. It's going to be 8 chemo treatments over 16 weeks. So
Okay.
every other week.
Okay.
I'll go in and I'll be in there for about 4 hours, and they'll start infusing me with all the stuff, including the chemo. And then I'll leave hooked up to that port, and I'll leave with like a fanny pack. The chemo goes in for 46 hours. So I'll be wearing that for a couple of days. After the 2 days, the nurse will come to the house, take it out, unplug me from the port.
So you'll even sleep with that on.
Yeah.
Wow.
It'll be infusing me for a couple of days. And then I'll have 2 weeks and go back again. 2 weeks every Tuesday, 2 weeks later. So I start on the 21st, and that'll be for, the 16 weeks. So 4 months. Probably have a couple of weeks off after that, just to let me kind of build up some strength. There's going to be a cumulative effect to how it affects me, my fatigue and all of that stuff.
Right.
It's going
Is
to probably affect me in the beginning, but
Yeah, it's
more
the
so as
first
you go.
couple of treatments. Is that going to knock you really on your ass?
I don't know. I don't know how my
Uh,
body's going to react. Some people get barely any side effects. Some get tons. I just
yeah.
don't know
Hmm.
until I go through it, what it's going to be and how it's going to progress. And everybody's, biology is different in how they handle it.
Right.
So after that, we'll have a couple weeks off, maybe 2, 3, maybe a month. I don't know. And then we're going to start a 5-week cycle of chemo, which I'll take by pill,
Hmm.
and
That's a lot
radiation.
better.
Yeah. And radiation, which is 5 days a week. They're going to tattoo me like little marks on me, and they're going to blast this radiation right at the tumor. You're in there like, 15, 20 minutes. It's not, like I'm in there for a long period of time, but I got to go 5 days a week.
But it's 5 days a week. Is it like
28 treatments.
5 consecutive days, like Monday through Friday kind of thing?
Monday through Friday, you're off the next couple of days. And there's some side effects that can come from that. I'll see if I get them and how they are and how harsh they are. Neuropathy is actually one of them,
What's that?
where if you touch something cold, it almost feels like it burns you.
Oh,
There's some interesting ones. I'm hoping to, they're giving me medications and stuff, which I'm already taking to like minimize that stuff. So when I get done that, so now we're 16 plus a month, 17 weeks in, and then another 5 weeks. Now I'm almost at 6 months. This is 6 months from now. I'll have it like about another, probably a month off, 3 weeks, a month off. And then I'll go in and have the surgery to have it removed.
so you'll have the surgery in the summer.
Yeah. Which is something actually that I did prefer.
Yeah.
Because, and he wrote it in my chart too, I'd rather have the recovery of the surgery be the end game. Go in, take it out, and then there's a pretty long recovery. But I know that when I get out of the surgery and I start feeling good after a couple of weeks, that I'm at the end.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like now I'm just getting physically better and gaining strength and everything. And I'm not going to go into a next treatment. I didn't want to come out of surgery and have to go in and go through chemo or radiation and that stuff then anyway. So I got lucky that the treatment plan kind of agreed with what I preferred.
Yeah.
All that being said, it's fucking daunting.
Yeah.
I look at my my Penn Medicine app for my appointments, and I can just keep scrolling. I have appointment after appointment after appointment. And it's going to be it's been rough for 6 months. It's been really rough for the last 3 months. The last month being the worst, including up until today. And the next 6, 7, 8 months are going to be pretty fucking rough too. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I don't know how to go about it. I'd have no idea. Everybody says just like one day at a time, one treatment at a time. Right now it's daunting. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all in front of you.
Yeah, and it's all right there. So I don't know how to focus on one thing. And I get so many messages from people, and they've been so awesome, like the greatest messages. And you're strong. You're going to beat this. And I'm like, nah, you don't know that. You don't know if I'm strong. You don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to react to any of this. I'm going to go in eyes wide open and not lay down for it, and beat some ass and do the best I can, and ultimately get through it. But it is not. Trust me, there's nothing in my body that's looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Other than getting on the other side of it.
Getting rid of it. Yeah. Well, it's like I said a little over a month ago. You didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, and that was incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
I went through months of trying to figure out what it was. From Crohn's disease to ulcerative colitis to all kinds of stuff, and food or bacterial infections. There is some, I guess, good part in knowing now, okay, we know what it is. We know what the treatment plan is. We have all this stuff done. So now we can got to go to the next phase. That I'll tell you though, Harry, from the minute that doctor called me and told me I had cancer at that 4:45 that one afternoon, my body goes into fight or flight mode immediately.
Right.
And I can feel it, everything. And I'm just running on pure adrenaline. And when I left that doctor's office on Monday and we had the plan figured out, all right, I'll see you next week to get the port in. We'll do this. And it's all laid out in front of me, and all the indecision, figuring out what it is and all that stuff. When that was all settled and we have our plan, and I got home, the adrenaline just went boom. Like somebody stuck a wet dry vac in my body and sucked all of it out. And I was shot. I had to call out of the Flyers game. I don't think that I could have put a sentence of words together. I had no energy. My every tank of physically, mentally, emotionally gone. And I'm just starting to get a little back now. Trying to
You
eat.
seem pretty good today.
Yeah, I mean, it was a rough night last night. I got up, I had some protein this morning, so I got to make sure that I'm getting my food. And I had met with a nutritionist yesterday, so it's it's going to be a hill to climb. There's no doubt about it, but we'll get there. But it's not going to be. I'm not taking any pictures at the top. Let's put it that way. So that's my story.
You'll be all ready to go by next hockey season.
Yeah, it does kind of time out like that.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for training camp. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Like that's the thing too for me. Like you know how I am all summer. Like I got the countdown clock to September 1st into hockey season and opening night.
Yeah.
Like, I look forward to this time of year, this weather, all of it so much. And this year it's just been, it's been miserable.
Mm-hmm. You wish the summer away typically.
Yeah. I'm going to wish it away next summer more than you. I'm wishing it away now in January, next summer. Like I look forward to this time of year so much. And I've just felt like such crap and been dealing with all this that it's just put a huge, like, I love going to the barn. Like I love going to the games. I love going to practice. I love, talking to the players and the coaches and all that. Mm-hmm. And it's just been something that I haven't been able to do. So I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to go, I'm going to do my best tomorrow to go and tape Hockey and Hounds with Torts in person. Mm-hmm. He's been so good to me through this too. So I'm going to go do that tomorrow with him, which would be cool.
Yeah. What is over at Voorhees?
Yeah, over at the Skate Zone. They practice tomorrow. I'm going to see if I have the strength to hang out and maybe tape some interviews with some players too. That's a long haul to get over there, but I want to sit down with Torts, and he checks on me every couple of days. So I know a lot of people don't like him. They look at his antics and stuff, but the human side of the man, far outweighs anything that people see publicly. When he can be an ass at times.
I think
he'll be the first to admit it.
I think he's great.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of him, and for him to just keep constantly checking on me is unbelievable. So
yeah, that's cool.
Tommy Conwell checking in said, "You've done hard things before. It sounds very hard, but don't forget, you can do hard things." Yeah, I'm going to have to. That's the fact of the matter, right?
Choice.
TC?
Right. There's no choice in the matter.
Yeah, I don't have any choice. So now it's either that or tuck tail and run on this thing called life, and I'm not doing that. So
no. Now, speaking of the Flyers, I saw some video come out the other night in the stands. It looked like at the end of the game.
Under the Toronto game.
At the Toronto game with a couple of Maple Leaf fans down by the glass. And some Flyer fan stepped over a couple of rows of chairs and beat the crap out of the one.
Well, he tried to, but he threw a bunch of fluffernutters, Harry. Well, they didn't even do anything to the two guys.
Well, I mean, the one
couple
guy
of haymakers.
One guy looked like he got hit once or twice pretty good.
I don't think he got anything on it. Fighting in the stands is probably hard because you're at different levels. One guy's higher than the other.
Well, you get the leverage.
Squared up.
You get that leverage.
Throwing down, it's tough.
Yeah.
Look, I thought it was the Philly fans a total fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Look, the two Toronto fans, you're idiots too. Like, you know where you are. You're not going to sit there and go, like, after you win.
Yeah, he was like taunting. It was almost like he was like, bring it on kind of thing. Yeah. And then, it's like, fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, just don't do that. Like, come into other buildings and be a fan and cheer when they score, but don't taunt people.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, now you're going too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the guy going down there to even take a swim, I'm like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Just fucking walk away.
And he had glasses on too.
Yeah.
The guy.
I don't get it. Yeah,
But of course that goes viral, and then it's like if you read all the comments, it's typical Philly idiots. So thanks, buddy.
Way to feed into the stereotype.
Yeah, way
jackass.
to go. Way to go. But now the Eagles have a big one on Sunday at 4. We got to do the postcast, and that game starts at 4:30?
4:25, I think.
4:25, 4:30.
We got Brady on the call.
Right.
So,
Packers. They lose Christian Watson, one of their wideouts, young guy. They got a bunch of young wide receivers, and this guy's kind of their big play guy. He doesn't he's not a volume catcher, but he's a guy when he does catch it, it's usually a big play. But he only has 2 touchdowns, 620 yards receiving, and he's caught 29 balls. So I don't know how much this is really going to hurt them, but you never want to lose a starting player. on week 18 in an otherwise kind of meaningless game against the Bears. That they were winning and they got nipped right at the wire by the Bears. You got to give credit to the Bears. They played hard.
Yeah, they did.
And they've played the Packers really tough all year. The other time they lost to them was really close.
Well, Hurts is back. I have no worries. I am not worried at all.
You're not at all?
No, I am not worried at all. I think the Eagles will be just fine. They're going to dominate up front on both sides of the ball. I think Packers are a good team. I think they're going to be close for a while, but I think that I'm not worried about the Eagles losing this game in the least.
I'm not either. The money line, I think I could juice the money line with something else. It's minus 225.
Okay.
And I was thinking about teasing this game also with the Buffalo game. Bring Buffalo down to a 2.5-point favorite. That way they win by a field goal. You cover.
Yeah.
And then I would take the Eagles to a plus 1.5. So if they did find a way to get beaten by one, you're still good there. But they're a 4.5-point favorite. The total sits at 46.5. Now they met obviously in week 1. I don't think that game has anything to do with what's going to happen on Sunday.
That was an eternity.
None.
It's like playing. That's like the 4th and 26 game having an effect.
Not only was it week 1, which is an eternity ago, as you said, but it was in South America.
Yeah, it's in Brazil.
I mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
But if you remember, Saquon Barkley, he had a couple of touchdowns in that game. That was his debut with the Eagles. He had a 34-yard run, not for a touchdown in that game, but it was one of his breakout runs. The Packers have not allowed a running play of 40 yards or more all season.
Wow.
But that was the second largest run from scrimmage against them all year. Former Eagle, DeAndre Swift, has the longest at 39 yards.
Wow. Maybe that'll go down. That record will go down for them this
It might. I mean, would you be shocked if you saw Saquon break a 50, 60-yard run for a touchdown? I wouldn't.
Like the second play of the first or the second half.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And in that game, Hurts had 3 turnovers. You remember he had 2 picks.
Yeah, they turned the ball over in the beginning of the year all over the place.
And he lost a fumble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that game matters at all. Both defenses are pretty good. I mean, the Eagles is better, but Green Bay's pretty good. Yeah, Xavier McKinney, he's a ball hawk. He's got 8 picks. They're safety. And I looked at the kickers, too, because obviously these games can come down to a kick. Brandon McManus is now the Packers' kickers, former Temple Owl. Wow. So he has a lot of experience kicking at the link.
In the wind.
Which is a different spot. And depending on which end you're at, the wind is very different. But this year, he's been really good. He's been perfect at 50-plus. He's 3 for 3, 20 of 21 on the year. And perfect on extra points. Jake Elliott, we've been chronicling this on the Eagles postcast all year. 1 for 7 from beyond 50 yards and beyond.
That is horrible.
Isn't it?
That's bad.
Yeah. So.
All right, we'll have the Eagles postcast on Sunday. Right as the horn sounds, we'll have the postcast on the YouTube channel. Harry, we got to wrap it because I got to get off.
Okay.
I got to see a man about a shitter.
Gotcha. All right.
Have a great weekend. We'll be back next week, though. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.